Changing settings for operation. The first thing you want to do is set up the Easy Locator for data collection in light of the anticipated soil conditions and depth of interest for your area. Simply highlight the wrench icon and push the knob to reveal the Settings menu. The first setting you may adjust is the color scheme for the data. The three options are Gray, Color Scheme 1, Color Scheme 2. In most conditions, grayscale is sufficient and gives the best results in the field. Some targets may be illuminated or highlighted better with the color scales. It is essentially a personal preference of the user. The next setting adjusts the screen brightness. This value is generally set to 100%, which is the maximum. The next setting is soil type. This setting is important since this is the controlling factor for the system to display depths reasonably accurately during data collection, since soil moisture generally determines the velocity of the radar signal in the ground. At this time, the default setting is typically 300 feet per microsecond. This setting is not critical at this time, since later you will learn how to calibrate the velocity during data collection. Acquisition mode determines how you will be collecting the data as you move the Easy Locator HDR. Forward means you will collect data as the Easy Locator is pushed along the ground in a forward motion. Most all applications are handled in this mode. In some instances, it may be easier to pull the Easy Locator, particularly in thick turf grasses or loose sandy material. Simply select Reverse, and data is collected as the unit is pulled backwards. In extreme terrain conditions where the wheels do not make constant contact with the ground, time triggering is used. Please note that in this mode, there is no horizontal distance information displayed on the screen, since the odometer in the wheel is not in use. The distance scale is replaced with a time scale. Settings for the rough terrain cart options are also displayed as RTC forward and RTC reverse. System parameters. Selecting System Parameters opens the Operating System menu, where the following can be adjusted and set. Time and date. To set the time and date, press the black control knob to highlight the time and date window. Rotate the control knob to position the small white triangle pointer underneath the value to be changed. Press the control knob once again, and a small triangle will appear above the value to be changed. Rotate the control knob to input the correct value. Then go to the next value to be changed and repeat this procedure. Upon completion, rotate the control knob and position the small triangle underneath the large triangle and push control knob to exit. Battery max level. The default value is 11 and does not need to be adjusted. Power save mode. The default setting is OK and should remain on, as it reduces power consumption when the system is idle for a period of time. Imperial or SI. This setting allows the user to display units in either Imperial, displayed in feet, or SI, which is displayed in meters. Language. The Easy Locator HDR accommodates up to 11 languages for the user interface. Select the appropriate language for your region. To save your language preference, the user must select Save and Exit. The system will reboot with the reflected changes. Hardware test. The hardware test is a diagnostic tool in the event the Easy Locator HDR does not function properly. It is typically used during technical support to aid MALA technicians to troubleshoot the system. Data disk format. The data disk format is used to reformat the SSD radar data storage device. See manual for further recommendations. Software upgrade. Mala Geoscience periodically releases software updates and upgrades for Mala Easy Locator HDR. Installing these updates allows you to take advantage of the new features and improvements that increase performance and system availability. Log on to the Mala website under Service and Support, Software Downloads, and upload the latest firmware to an empty or blank USB device. Plug the USB device into the USB port on the monitor and select Software Upgrade. The software will then be uploaded to the monitor. The system will then reboot. Restore predefined settings. This selection is used at the discretion of Mala technical support personnel during troubleshooting in the event the Easy Locator HDR experiences a problem. Restore factory settings. This selection is used at the discretion of Mala technical support personnel during troubleshooting in the event the Easy Locator HDR experiences a problem. Warning: this option should only be used as a last resort when the Restore Predefined Settings option fails to solve the issues that you are experiencing. Next screen. Depress Next Screen to open System Menu, Screen 2. In Screen 2, the user can adjust the default zoom depth of the system. The default zoom depth simply defines the range of depth window, or the maximum depth range a target may be detected. Please note that this scale is dependent on the soil velocity setting. In a later segment, soil velocity calibration procedures will be covered. Also, the depth window maximum does not necessarily mean quality data is achievable to that maximum. Soil conditions vary greatly and affect the maximum penetration of GPR signals. Time gain. The time gain button is used to adjust the time gain for the GPR profile. The control knob is rotated to increase or decrease the applied time gain. The user may select either manual or auto by depressing the control knob. Soil conditions dictate which mode is most effective. Auto gain amplifies the signal with coefficients that balance the signal throughout the radargram. Manual gain is used to manually amplify the time gain on the GPR profile. Time interval. Time triggering, which is found in the Acquisition Mode menu, is selected and the user can adjust how many traces or pulses per second are generated to collect data profiles. The default of 0.100 seconds is normally adequate. GPS parameters. Your Easy Locator HDR comes standard with a built-in DGPS receiver if option purchased. The system is also compatible with external GPS systems of the user's choice. The external GPS devices may be connected either through the COM port or USB port as determined by the GPS manufacturer and model used. To access the GPS option, select the wrench icon. Then select System Parameters. Then select Next Screen. And finally, GPS parameters. Select by toggling between built-in, USB, or COM. If COM or USB is selected for an external GPS receiver, default settings are normally adequate. For additional instructions on connecting an external GPS receiver, please refer to the Mala Easy Locator HDR manual and the GPS manufacturer's manual. For built-in optimal accuracy, select WAAS for U.S. customers. And for regional coverage outside of the U.S., consult the manual for the appropriate GPS coverage using the SBAS region menu. After selections, select Save and Exit. Then select Previous Screen. Then select Save and Exit. Then select Save, which will return you to the acquisition screen. at which time you will see the GPS coordinates appear on the bottom of your screen. Options. Selecting Options displays both the serial number and the current software version of your Easy Locator HDR. The additional software options available for purchase are screenshot capture and GPS functionality, and are activated by entering the appropriate code provided by Mala at the time of purchase. Please note that these options can be added at a later time. Once GPS and screenshot options are activated, the camera icon appears as a menu item in the acquisition screen. When in the collection mode, the GPS marker icon appears. While collecting data, the operator chooses to take a screenshot of the data on the screen. Turn the control knob and select the camera icon. This will create a JPEG of the data on the screen. If a target is identified and the operator chooses to place a GPS mark above the target, then turn the control knob and select GPS marker. This will place a GPS mark on the data. These two options will be discussed in greater detail in another section of this video.